Welcome to another episode of Solitaire Commentary Quest. Today, we're doing some special features from Star Trek Discovery Season 1. We got Discovering Discovery, the concepts and casting of Star Trek Discovery, which, I'm just going to shorten that down to just Discovering Discovery. Because, it's a bit of a word salad. So, this should be fun. As you know, the pitch has been turned down. Everything's gonna get sped up as soon as I get to editing this video. And so without further ado, discover the special feature. Here's the special feature, Discovering Discovery. I'm doing the dirty work, you don't have to, which is fun. Tearing this shit apart. It's pretty fun. Bit of lethargic. Lethargy or something. I don't know. Anyway, here we go. Playing right now. Random shots of them just creating the interior. What's going on right now?
My earliest memory probably goes back to my friend's father, who was a rocket scientist at JPL. Would go to his house, and on Saturdays was some reruns. And I loved the world of it. It was so interesting, and I could tell how much it had impacted that family and him.
Okay, so Star Trek impacted Alex Kurtzman, shit prick himself. It's like this family was impacted by Star Trek. I too am an human and am impacted by this Star Trek. Let's hear what he has to say.
And his desire to become a rocket scientist, and love the emotional relationship between Kirk and Spock on the show.
Nice to see you, Captain. So pleased. I'm a little pleased myself.
Yep.
Oh, yes. Yes, Kurtzman loved the relationship between Kirk and Spock, which probably thought they were butt buddies or something in all likelihood. And we got a scene from the original series, Space Seed, playing. We got that playing. And no coincidence. Probably only remembers The Wrath of Khan. Or was probably only seen The Wrath of Khan as a movie. That's my thoughts. I'll keep playing.
To be about the bridge crew being a family.
Well,
Best of both worlds.
what the hell are you still doing here?
Scene from Best of Both Worlds playing.
I've decided not to pursue that commissioner this time. She's a fine ship, Will. Yes, but she's not the Enterprise.
It's so wonderful and inviting, and I think it's part of why it's endured for over 50 years now.
Look.
Yes, it's endured for 50 years till you have come around and basically come along and start to systematically destroy everything good and fun about Star Trek. Survived 50 years. It survived cancellation. Came back as movies. New TV series. And then even survived the Abrams Trek movies. But you came along and then you fucking murdered Star Trek. Congratulations. You're literally tormented by you literally have a internet supervillain tormenting you. Congratulations, Kurtzman. You get what you deserve. God, this is just making me want to go. This is making me want to go back and watch some old episodes of Star Trek. I got all 3 seasons of the original series with like the updated special effects. It's pretty nice. I also got the movies and the first 3 seasons of Voyager. I've been unable to. I've looked through pawn shops. I've been unable to find old series of DS9, Enterprise, Next Generation, and yeah, as well as Voyager. I've been unable to find any of them in the local pawn shops. I've been unable to. Haven't seen any of the new old shit on the. Haven't seen any of the old shit. Haven't seen any of the old shit back on the shelves, you know. Which, yeah, fucking shame, really. I guess I could order them off of Amazon or some shit like that, but I'm not like that. I like to support. I like to buy local, support local businesses, shit like that. But anyway,
Anniversary, it feels like Star Trek is in everybody's consciousness, and we really wanted to do something to honor the legacy. But
you literally did the reverse of that. You literally created a show so fucking terrible, that has an actress starring in it that's so fucking god awful. Like you've literally done everything to dishonor Star Trek. And yet you're talking like this? God, you're fucking deluded, man. Oh.
without a reason to have a new story to tell. And now's the time because I think audiences want Star Trek to come back to television. Television was Star Trek's first home. And it is very meaningful to a lot of people who sat in their living rooms for generation after generation loving Star Trek on television.
You need me, particularly now. Indeed. Starfleet needs good captains, particularly now.
I know that I'm excited about the opportunity to shift gears and to say, okay, what is the new television version of Trek?
Well, turns out the new television version of Trek is called the Orville. For future references, it's the Orville. It does way more to honor Star Trek's legacy than what you've done. I find it's just what is the new television version of Star Trek? You know what? You know what? You want to know what? You want to know what the new television version of Star Trek looks like? You want to know what it really? You want to know what it looks like? It looks like the old Star Trek, but with like none of today's issues in it. And dear God, man, your hair, your hair in this special feature commentary or special feature, it's going from pitch white all the way to like black with white streaks in it. Dear God, man, pick a color for your hair, man.
The connection point to the movies. How do you find the connection point to the other iterations of the show? And
Bringing Star Trek into the modern world. Okay. Don't you mean you're bringing the modern world into Star Trek, which is what you did? You took the issues of the modern day, you jammed them right into this show to create the fucking blasphemy that is Star Trek Discovery. I'm really mellow right now. Bit cool. So yeah, you didn't bring it into the modern world. You took the modern world and jammed it into Star Trek. Which, first mistake number one, amongst others.
world. That's why I think we're so excited to do it now.
We come in peace. That's why we're here. Isn't that the whole idea of Starfleet? Hey, I taught you that. You don't trust me, Captain? I trust you with my life, Commander Burnham.
It's incredibly difficult to follow the amazing starship captains that have already been created and beloved by so many. Every single one of them in different ways have been rendered so beautifully and so specifically. They're all tough acts to follow, but I'm sure that...
Well, not really tough acts to follow. You just need a competent actor. Which, yeah, you had Michelle Yeoh. Yeah, she would have been a great captain for a proper Star Trek series. She would have been a fucking good captain, but you killed her off right immediately. Then you give us Lorca, which, good actor. But, yeah. Jesus Christ.
was being conceived, the creators of those particular captains were scared about, matching the one that had come before.
And you, Captain? What will you do if we're trapped here for 89 years? That's easy. I'd escape. It was hard at first trying to get used to owning the captain's chair. So something's out there, but no one...
You're the captain for literally 2 episodes. You were literally a Starfleet captain for 2 episodes. Then you became the fucking empress of the mirror universe. That's how that fucking worked. So I don't see how it's that hard. Anyway.
It's a big legacy. It's a very important legacy, and there are a lot of people who love Star Trek. And everybody is so wonderful to work with because they're so passionate. And you feel that love and passion, and they just dive into it. The cast.
You know where you don't feel that love and passion? On screen. Because this shit is the most dreadful dreck to fucking watch. It's just fucking amazing how fucking terrible it is. But anyway.
It's really family. And there's just no two ways about it. And I adore Sonequa and Dougie. Lieutenant Saru, what do we have? Number one tells me you suspect foul play. Despite the first officer's constant need to dismiss my ideas. She apparently agrees with you. Really? I'm shocked as well. Ensign Carter,
Get-
agreement between my senior
Get Doug Jones a better show, folks. Someone out there, get him a better Star Trek series.
Necessary now.
Rescue this guy.
I'll never forget.
Someone out there create a fund.
To read for Michael Burnham.
Rescue Doug Jones. Hashtag Rescue Doug Jones.
Yeah, it was
Get it started.
We were down to the wire, and to have her just walk in.
For just $1 a day, you can rescue Doug Jones from Star Trek Discovery. For just $1 a day, you can help Doug Jones be in Yorville
The Vulcans fired first. They said
as a better character
violence brought respect,
in the series.
Captain, we have to give the Klingons a Vulcan hello.
And barely even listening to her read. I mean, just kind of waiting for her to be done so that we could run out and call CBS and say we've.
I wouldn't be surprised if there were 10 other actresses more who auditioned for this role who were more charismatic than Sonequa Martin Green. I wouldn't be surprised if there were 10 more behind her. Because this chubby blonde lady and this glasses wearing motherfucker don't look really too good. They don't look like they shouldn't be anywhere near a casting room. But anyway, I digress.
Logical for you to take into account my success rate during our 7 years together and execute my plan without further challenge before we're dragged into war. Starfleet doesn't fire first. That's all, number one. We have to.
Oh, hold on. Alright, so I'm done. I've finished the phone call. And I'm back. Back, a little bit older, a little bit wiser. I'm back to the Solitaire Comentary quest.
In my ready room. Now, I do feel overwhelmed to be a part of this franchise. Lieutenant Commander, you have the bridge. But I feel overwhelmed with gratitude because I see it as nothing short of an honor to be a part of something that has been entrenched in our society for so long, something that is so loved, something that has always been at the forefront of innovation, has always been at the forefront of forward thinking. I really appreciate how the Star Trek series has always challenged people to think outside of the box and to think beyond what their current perspective might be. Battle is not a simulation. It's blood and screams and funerals. I taught you better than this. We don't start shooting on a hunch, and we don't take innocent lives, period.
We don't take innocent lives, period. Oh, a lot of innocent lives are going to be taken over this series. Let's see here. Can't think of them at the moment, but yeah. Yeah. I'll make sure everything's plugged in. Yep, everything's good. Okay, moving on.
Which I was so much defined by the experience of the characters debating problems on the bridge.
I may not be myself.
Whereas the films have to open.
Yeah, so the problems were discussed on the bridge. A lot of the action happens on the bridge. So, you want to get your money's worth out of those set pieces, and you don't want to be going to Planet Iceland every day, to do fucking shooting and whatnot. It solves problems on the bridge because it's didn't have the budget. The budget was limited. They had limited budgets. And then have the CGI to throw around at everything. So yeah.
Different ways, and obviously there's more action requirement in some ways in the films.
We got the nerve pinch, the neck pinch.
Sorry.
In this particular case, while there will be a lot of action, I'm really looking forward to spending more time on the bridge and in the ship and exploring the ship in different kinds of ways. And having characters on that ship that maybe you've never seen before in Star Trek. Your world has food chain.
Well, it's funny. The ship they're on is not the Discovery. It's the Shenzhou. So we only get to explore that ship for like 2 episodes of prequel, a prologue, and then it's the Discovery. But we don't have scenes from the Discovery. We got scenes from the Shenzhou, which is weird.
It is not. Our species map is binary. We are either predator or prey.
Okay, so you don't have food chains on your planet, Saru? What about all the underwater? What about all the aquatic alien or aquatic fish and whatnot that have their own separate ecosystems? Different biomes on the planet where different predators are predators and different prey are different prey. Okay, that's a bit retarded.
We're hunted, bred, farmed. We are your livestock of old.
Watching Doug Jones step onto the bridge for the first time in those huff boots.
We need to rescue Doug Jones, people.
And, you know, honestly, not
We need to
knowing
rescue
what
him.
he was going to do.
Send him to the Orville.
We had a sense, but you know, that character comes together.
$1 a day, you can help Doug Jones
once the
out.
makeup is on and the costume is on, and looking at the walk that he created and just the surreal.
Well, he created that walk because you give him like hoof shoes. Oh, what's this?
Will be determined for what purpose and what purpose alone. To sense the coming of death.
Yeah, well, that only lasted about halfway through the season.
I sense it coming now.
Death sense seems to have been dulled there.
This character is absolutely going to pop.
The thought of taking on an already established alien species, what would have come with that for me would have been the pressure to get it right. So to be given a new species, it's like, okay, well, I don't have that history pressure to bring forward. But now I have to start history today.
Yeah, you're overthinking things there, Doug Jones. You're overthinking there.
I'm not going to say it's a pressure, but it's a responsibility for sure to help me in this.
Captain, let's take variables to a minimum. I wouldn't want to put my colleague at risk.
Something memorable, something lovable.
And you, Mr. Saru, are you equally happy not to be put at risk?
Oh, on any occasion, Captain. Something heroic in a way.
You're relieved, Mr. Saru.
Where's the captain? Something that adds the right spice to the Starfleet Federation.
Your breathing is elevated. Perspiration is visible at your hairline. I fear what you are doing betrays the wishes of our captain.
Really insightful there.
Take your station, Commander.
This is mutiny.
Move, Saru. Tactical. Well, locked on. Fire! Belay that order. Captain, please. I'm trying to save you. I'm trying to save all of you. Stand down.
I would have loved to have she had shot her.
That the Federation has, the people who work together on the harmonious solution, diplomatic solutions to things, is fanciful and maybe short-lived.
Captain, incoming. Warp signature.
People who think that are nihilists.
And we see a resurgence in politics around the world right now of one needs to be strong and one needs to dominate militarily, and that bullying is the right way to go.
No. Those ships are clean hard.
That's this blip in human relations for the last 50, 100 years has been just that, and then we'll return to might is right. And it's one of the reasons to make the show.
Really? A bunch of terribly designed Klingon ships warping in, facing an equally terribly designed Federation ship.
Inside the Klingon ship, hearing them speak, hearing what's happening behind the scenes with them, which you've never seen.
Sure.
it speaks to what we're trying to do with the whole series, which is changing your expectations about our assumptions, whether it's about
Our expectations about assumptions? Okay. Shouldn't you just be changing our expectations? Alright. It's a bit redundant there. Alright.
I think in the past the Klingons have been always portrayed as they're the bad guy. Period.
Yeah. The Klingons in the original series, they were always portrayed as the Soviet Union. And the Federation was the United States. The USA, the UN. The original series, the Federation, they were the Soviet Union. And back then, everyone used to see the Soviet Union as the enemy. Rightfully so, because they wanted to spread communism to the rest of the planet. Which, yeah, communism, you got a lot of bread lines going around. So of course they're going to be portrayed as the bad guys. In the original series, in the Next Generation, the Klingons were the allies to the Federation, reflecting the dynamic of the Soviet Union at the time. And you have that same dynamic go on in Star Trek The Undiscovered Country. My third favorite Star Trek movie, by the way, The Undiscovered Country. I mean, yeah. My three favorite Star Trek movies, First Contact, Khan, Undiscovered Country. Now, yeah, I'll admit, I'm a Next Generation guy. I like the Next Generation. I grew up on it. If I didn't grow up on the Next Generation, the order would go Wrath of Khan, First Contact, Undiscovered Country. So nothing personal against the original series. But that's just how I was raised, folks. Nothing personal. Really? Yeah. So, yeah. The Klingons, from the original series to Discovery, they go from the Soviet Union to an oppressed, culturally endangered people. Which, very disingenuous. Then they did the same thing with the Romulans in Star Trek Picard. Really fucking disingenuous. Oh, I realized I haven't been playing any goddamn Solitaire. And this is a damn, fresh new. Yeah, this is a fresh new game of Solitaire. Got interrupted, laptop turned off. Realize I haven't been, I am sorry. You come here for the commentary, you come here for the quest, and you come here for the Solitaire. Sorry. I'll make it up to you. I'll make it up to you. Someday. Don't know how. So yeah, anyway. Moving on.
In this case, technically, compared to Starfleet, I guess they're the bad guy, but you understand that they're doing what they're doing for what they believe are very good reasons. So it depends.
Very good reasons. Very good reasons. The basically after the one guy, after the one house fell, they used the Federation as fucking target practice in sport to see how many Federation people they could kill in more creative ways than possible. In more equally just devastating creative ways. But yeah. Like they're goddamn fucking terrorists. So yeah. God, these fucking Klingons are horrible. It's just a fucking cult right here.
The war with the Klingons, or the skirmishes, as they were called with the Klingons, had been alluded to, but never really...
Well, they were never really expanded upon because the United States and the Soviet Union were in a fucking Cold War. If they did expand upon that, you'd have themes of mutually assured destruction in such a conflict, because that's what would have happened between a war with the Klingons and that's what would have happened between the Soviet Union and the United States. It was never alluded upon because the Cold War in real life, only had minor skirmishes here and there, wars in Vietnam and shitload proxy wars, all that shit. You got the Cuban Missile Crisis, which, yeah, if it was expanded upon, you'd see reflections of how the Cold War actually went with the Soviet Union and the United States of America. And there would also be tacticians saying, yeah, this would get really bloody really fast, everyone would lose, because that's how it would have been in real life. But okay, that's just FYI.
That has a lot of room for interpretation.
Lot of room for interpretation? Well, that's interesting. Because if you were to go backwards in history, the Klingons and the Federation, they would have, if we were to go backwards, alright, if we were to go backwards to the themes, if we were to create a prequel series to the original series, if one had existed back in the day, it probably would have shown the Federation and the Klingons as allies against another larger foe. A fascist state of sorts. There'd be an alien race of fascists or something. Because United States, and the Soviet Union were allies in World War II. So logically, if you were going to set a Star Trek franchise pre the original series, I would assume those real world themes would go into the series, because at one point the Soviet Union and the United States were allies when they fought in World War II. You'd think that would be the case. You would think they take those themes backward. You take from those themes from the past. But no. So anyway, moving along.
One of the things that we really wanted to do, as Trek does in some ways better than anybody, is find a way to humanize the Klingon.
Humanize the Klingons? Do you know how racist that is? The Klingons aren't humans, they're Klingons. The Klingons are Klingons. What you would want to do is Klingonize the Klingons. You wouldn't be humanizing them, you would be Klingonizing them. Adding our values to another species, another completely separate species that is separate from our own, separate from humanity. Yeah. Some things would translate, but not others. There'd be cultural standards that don't translate to the Klingons, but vice versa. The Klingons are a warrior race, and yeah, what you would want to do is Klingonize the Klingons. You wouldn't want to fucking humanize them. They're their own separate race and species. Their own species. They're their own people. My fucking God.
And to understand why they're acting the way they're acting and why they want what they want.
Yeah, yeah, in the original series, the Klingons were the Klingons were the Soviet Union. And the reason the Soviet Union, they were doing the shit they wanted, that they were doing to expand their territory, to expand their influence, to expand their culture to other worlds. So the Klingons, they should be bringing their culture, their values to different they're trying to be the dominant race in the Alpha Quadrant. That's the reason why they were doing things the way they were doing them. That's the reason why they locked horns with the Federation. Because they were a fucking analog to the Soviet Union. Fucking A. That's why they were doing the things that they were doing. Not because the Federation was going to destroy their culture. The Federation and the Klingons were rivals. And as things progressed in the undiscovered country, you basically had a Cold War story of the fall of the Soviet Union being told through Star Trek. You had that analog. You had in Next Generation, you had the Klingons as the Federation's allies, and DS9 they were the allies. and all this shit. So yeah. Oh, these are a bunch of fucking cultists. Poorly dressed cultists.
I think one of the great things about having 50 years of Star Trek is to be able to look at...
You know what I like about 50... You know what I like about having 50 years of Star Trek? It's knowing that there is better Star Trek out there than Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Picard, and Star Trek Lower Decks. That's my favorite part about having 50 years of Star Trek.
of the timeline or timelines and say what stories have potentially been hinted at but not fully explored.
They weren't fully explored because the original series was canceled after 3 seasons. And by the time that got to the next generation, those stories weren't fucking relevant anymore. So yeah. Anyway.
Hello, Zarek.
Oh yeah.
It's part of actually what got us excited about starting over with the movies was the idea that oddly in all that time the story of how Kirk and Spock met had never actually been portrayed on film. It had only been referred to. So it felt like a perfect way in.
Okay. Yeah. How did Spock and Kirk meet? Well, presumably, Spock was a previous member. He was a part of existing. He was part of the. He was part of the staff of the Enterprise when Kirk came aboard. That's probably how they met. It's like, Kirk came aboard, it's like, hi, I'm Kirk, I'm a new captain. Spock was like, hey, that's cool, I'm Spock, nice to meet you. And then they probably got to chit-chatted, and then they played chess and all this. Had a great personal relationship, had a great personal rapport between each other. Had a nice professional rapport. That's probably how they met. Simple as that. No, instead we get this convoluted action story that was Star Trek 2009. Or was it 2008? I don't know. I don't care. So anyway.
Trek, so that for us is the standard. You gotta find a reason to go into this.
We've encountered the Klingons.
Beyond just, let's make another Star Trek series, but why? What story are we telling?
Oh, it's not the story you're telling, it's the narrative you're telling. And what narrative you're inserting into Star Trek. Not about this, for you, it's not about the story, it's about the narrative you want to fucking push. So yeah.
No fire has been exchanged, but they didn't turn on that beacon until Starfleet was on its way to our position. I think there's somebody more of their kind.
An odd proposition, given that their empire's been in disarray for generations. But you are describing something out of the ordinary. Restraint in the face of conflict, when a civilization acts in opposition to its instincts. Maybe under the influence of something or someone new. Great unifiers, few and far between, but they do come.
I think that our captain and this new crew and the situation they find themselves in will hopefully be fan-worthy.
No, not at all.
Prisoner.
No, not at all.
Energized.
Did they make this special feature before they decided to kill the captain?
And a reason for everybody to come back to Trek on television.
I don't know. Klingon guy dying. Klingon guy dying, yeah, great metaphor for Star Trek getting killed by these people. So yeah, this is another commentary quest in the can. Yeah. So yeah, bit of an interruption in the middle of the episode. By the phone, sorted out, had a conversation. It was good. So yeah, I'm the Blood Knight of the Old Republic of Bloodganistan. Like, share, and subscribe. Stay frosty, stay sexy, San Diego. Get your jewels in one where you can. I'm a spaceman. Peace out.